everybody, super duper excited today to introduce you to one of my former students, because now she's like off and away, Miss Skye Grace. Hi, Skye. Thank you for joining.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm really excited because I think your story and your journey is going to be so inspiring to people that are on the fence about starting and joining in the VA world, and also those who might have been doing this for a little while. And I love how you've kind of niched and how you've morphed to really align and create a business essentially that's aligned with what your interests are. So I'm super duper excited for everybody to hear all about you. So my first question is, before you started down the virtual assistant route, I think you used 90 Day VA to help you, but before all of that, what kinds of stuff were you doing?
So before that, I was a yoga and meditation teacher in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Cool.
And thank you, yeah. I was working with a lot of corporate businesses. I was teaching privates, and then I was working at a few of the main studios there. And then I was also side hustling. I was, for a short stint of time, I was a waitress at a Japanese restaurant.
So were you side hustling because that one didn't make you enough money, or did you have like a goal that you wanted to earn extra money for?
So I definitely didn't have enough money as a yoga teacher. I didn't have a lot of the business skills to learn how to really grow and make it sustainable. So I was side hustling as a waitress, and also I had a short stint of working in retail at Lululemon, which was really fun.
Yeah, super fun.
So I was working a ton. I mean, I was working 24/7. I was also trying to get through school.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You're a hustler like me. You're like, I'm going to school, and I'm a yoga teacher, and I work at this restaurant, and I also part-time in the evenings work at this store.
Basically, I did not have a social life.
You're like, and I also can barely pay my rent.
And that too.
Isn't that the worst? You're like, I'm literally working 24/7 and I still have no money.
It's exactly what my life was like. And
yeah,
I
know. From experience.
Yes. So it was, I was really frustrated. And I was looking for options. I knew that I didn't want to work in a 9-to-5 corporate job. It just really wasn't what I was about. And I also knew that I didn't have enough skills to be able to do something like either start my own business, or, I didn't know how to launch yoga programs or, teacher trainings that could actually make my job as a yoga teacher sustainable. So I started teaching English online, and which was really funny. My husband saw me with the headset on and just died laughing. That was really But I did that, and I was also working at Lululemon, and then I was like, I'm only making like $15 an hour, and I felt awful. I felt like I came into this world because I wanted to help people. I wanted to do great things, and I can't pay my bills, and I'm working a job that isn't fulfilling. And I felt like, how did I get myself here? This is not my life. How did I get myself here?
Deep thoughts, deep questions.
Yes.
And then I think for perspective too, like $15 an hour might be really amazing to some people listening or watching. But then for you, you said you were living in the Bay Area?
Yeah, I was living in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Which is like a joke.
Yeah, it's the cost of rent. I mean, for a roommate, it's at least like $1,000 to rent a room. And for an apartment, oh my gosh. I mean, even outside of the main city, it's at least, $2,500 to $3,000. So yeah, it's very, very, and it's also hard to get into a place into San Francisco Bay. If you've ever tried to get into an apartment there, it's like pulling teeth.
Yeah. So I think that I just want to give that as context. We talk about people who are like, oh, I would love to do online skills training with one of your programs, but I can't afford it. Well, I'll say, hey, a great place to start is teaching English. But like you found, you're capped. Like you can only ever make this much. And you're like chained to your desk from like 3 a.m. until 5 a.m., right?
Exactly. I mean, you're working odd hours. I mean, it's great. It's great in a lot of ways if you don't have skills and you're like, I need to work online, or, I have a full-time job and I need to make some extra cash on the side. So it's very great in that way. And I was, obviously like appreciative that I was doing something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I started researching, how can I start working for business owners, and not teach English? Is there a way that I can do that? And I literally I remember I spent like a week researching, and I finally came across 90-day virtual assistant internship.
Yay!
And I was super excited. And I was also like skeptical because I've done courses before, and a lot of them, I feel like sometimes people do courses because they like to hear themselves talk. They don't really want to help people. And so I was scared, like, okay, I'm going to invest in this course. I didn't have a ton of money, but I did a payment plan and I started the course, and it provided so much value for me. It was insane. I mean, I learned all the skill, and it's true, like all of the skills that you learn in the actual course itself are what business owners are hiring for. And some of the things that you learn too are things that they don't even realize that they need help with, which is also really great. So I thought, when I went into the course, I thought, oh, it'll take me, 90 days and then maybe I'll get a client or something. And I started the course, and within about a month and a half, I just started piling on clients. And then it just started happening where I was getting a lot of referrals. And that's where I get a majority of my business, is from referrals, which is really great. So
I found the same thing when I was as VA. I think getting that first 1 to 3 was kind of, not hard, but you had to apply and go through the process, right?
Yeah.
But then after that, you might, prior like me, like I never applied for a job ever again. And I just was crazy booked out. Is that what you found too?
Exactly. Yes. I haven't, honestly, if I am looking for a client, I look in Facebook groups. I definitely have used this course because what's great about this course is we do have a group where Esther posts jobs in there weekly for everyone that's in there, which is absolutely amazing. And a lot of programs don't offer something like that.
So the other programs don't, just FYI.
Yeah. Exactly. So that was, because my work was good and because I was set up to succeed with what I was able to offer, clients referred me, and that's how I've been able to grow. And I literally haven't been applying for anything. People have reached out to me, which has been really, really amazing.
So let's break down a little bit more. You just gave a few really good nuggets, but let's break down a little bit more the referral kind of system, because I think that's a great thing for people to know. So you said you did really great work. Yeah. That was one of the big things you think that contributed.
Absolutely.
And I forgot the other thing you said, but what else do you think contributed to like just setting up this great referral system?
Well, I definitely think, I have to go back to the course, because the one thing that, anybody can go to Udemy or Coursera and learn skills. You can learn, but what the course provides not only is the skills, but it's also, it's the small touches. And it sounds like a really small thing, but it's actually a really, really big thing. Like, I've learned how to set up my media kit and show my work in a very, very professional way through the course. I have, an email signature with a professional photo with my contact information. I have a Facebook business page where if somebody has questions, they're able to look at my reviews. They're able to, see what I'm about, who are the people that I've helped, and what has been their experience. I know how to, create an invoice, and I have an accounting system that I've learned through this program. I have contracts that I'm able to send to clients because, every single business owner obviously needs help, but a lot of them don't know, how do I hire somebody online, or like, how would I even pay them, or how would I, set those things up? So this course answers all of those questions, not only for yourself, but also for the client. And so you're just one step ahead of the game. And it really shows that like, you know what you're doing.
So it's like this professionalism and this kind of online presence that backs it up is what kind of spoke more to clients or potential clients and referrals than you just telling somebody, oh, I'm a virtual assistant.
Yes, I would say that has made a huge, that's been very, very important. So a lot of clients look at my media kit and they're super impressed. They're like, wow, like this looks amazing. Like she knows how to create like on brand graphics. Yeah, it's really awesome. It's amazing. And that's why, it's not like I have applied in the past for different positions, but people usually call me back. I think it's a lot of it has to do with my media kit. You know, we are in a visual world, and especially with social media, especially with everything that we're doing. And, you know, people look, and it shows, like, if you care about the work that you've done and you present it in a beautiful way that's professional, it makes a huge impact.
So the application kit is proprietary to our program. So I'm not going to share what that is, but that is what gets a lot of our students gigs. But I think what you can take away from this, if you're in the program or not, is how important being able to show off your skills is, and having a portfolio that's like visually appealing, because anybody can just say, oh, I do social media. But if you can send them something that shows, here's graphics I made that are related to your brand, like it's connected to what your stuff is, that's going to speak volumes, and you're going to get to the top of the list.
Absolutely. And I would say another thing too, you know, while you're doing this skill set course, it's funny, like, you know, on the side, I teach yoga and I do meditation, and I've learned so much on how to apply it to that part of my business as well, where I'm able to, you know, I understand like how business is set up, and I understand, you know, how to present myself. And, you know, I noticed that, you know, social media, especially right now, like learning how to set up a professional account, people, you know, clients, when they're looking to hire someone, they're definitely looking at your social media. And through this course, I've also learned how to create, you know, my social media is so much better looking, like my graphics,
Yay!
Things up. So it helps in that respect as well.
Yeah, I think that some people do this because they're trying to like get another online business going, or another business going, like you did with your yoga stuff. And I think it helps them because they start to see, like, if you're learning how to be a VA for other people's businesses, clearly you can apply that stuff to your own stuff too, right?
Absolutely. It helps you out in both of those areas. And that is, I mean, it's amazing. I'm super, super grateful that I was able to cross this program. It's definitely changed.
So you got super duper booked out. And then what happened?
Well, I was super overwhelmed with all of this work. I mean, you only have 8 hours in a day, and some people press it to 10 hours, which is kind of like my style. I work hard, and I love to work. I really do. I've been like that.
Me too. Don't you love it when you're making money and you're like, cool, if I just work more from my couch, I'm going to make more money?
Yes, exactly.
I like this.
Exactly. So, so I was trying to figure out, okay, what do I do? I don't want to say no to these people. So I started, you know, referring some of my clients to the 90-day virtual assistant private group, which you only have access to if you actually join. So I referred, like, I think there was like 2 to 3 jobs that I've referred to other members. And it's great because we all kind of like support each other. You know, if a job is posted and someone's like, oh, wow, you know, like this person is into, you know, animal rights. Well, this, you know, our friend over here would be great for it. So we always try to help each other out. And I think that is also amazing. Like there is no like competition of, you know, there's no scarcity mindset in the group. Everybody is trying to help each other.
I'm so happy to hear that. I feel like I'm just like your hype man this whole recording. I'm in the back like, yay! But I will say that the Facebook group and the members club group, you know, it was so funny when I added it onto the program. It was very much just like an afterthought. It was very much like, oh, and we'll put a Facebook group there. But what it's become is like this whole pillar of the program, because you guys all rely on each other for support. Both, like, nobody realizes how much mentally you have to get through to be able to do something like this, because you're like, I can't do this, everybody else will be able to do it and not me, who's going to think I can be a VA? So like all of that everybody has to work through, the community helps. And then that was my whole intention, was I had jobs I needed to refer out. That's why I started that kind of group. And then now you guys all are so booked out that you have jobs you need to give to other people too. Or it's just like, it might come in and you're like, ooh, I don't have time, or it's not really my thing, so I'll just let the other girls apply. And we've tried to teach everybody not to have that scarcity mindset, exactly what you said. And in case you don't know what that is, do you want to tell them a little bit about what that is?
Yeah, it's basically, you know, your belief system about what you're allowed to have, and, you know, how you're allowed to take up space in your own life. And you know, people, you know, and that can show up in many different ways. I think some people believe, you know, I could never make that much money, or I'm not good enough to work at this job, or, you know, I could never have that have that type of life, like I'm going to be poor forever or whatever, it shows up in different ways.
There's not enough VA jobs. There's not enough VA work out there. So I have to keep all this to myself, or I'm not going to tell anybody, or whatever that kind of thing is.
Exactly. And I think, it's so funny. Mindset is also super, super important, because I never thought that one of the things I've also been able to get so many jobs, I think, is I've never thought that I wasn't allowed to have that. I think every single person on the planet is allowed to have the life that they want. And that's what scarcity mindset is. It's either you choose to believe all of the negative thoughts about yourself, or you choose to believe that you can have the life that you want.
Yeah. So there's an abundant options for you and abundant jobs for you. And just because you don't take this one on, or you share it, or you refer this person, doesn't mean there's not going to be more for you.
Oh my gosh. Every time I share something, there's something really great that happens in my life. Every time I share a job post to one of my friends in the Facebook post, I swear someone messages me and they're like, hey, I would love for you to take on more work here. And let me give you, or there's something amazing that always happens. And so I never believe that, like, if I give a referral, something, I'm not going to get something in return, because I always get something in return. Always.
That's so good for everybody to hear. Everybody who's at any level of your online work life, learning about your own scarcity mindset and like what's coming up for you, and just talking yourself through it and overcoming it, because like you just said, every time you give more, it's going to come back tenfold.
It really does. And sometimes you don't even know the miraculous ways that it comes back, but it does. It's just really cool.
It is really cool. My mentors tell that to me. Like, I'm very overwhelmed with, I'm buying a house and I just bought a car. Like, I'm so, so grateful to what this business has done for me. And my mentors are like, that's because of how much good you put out. Like, you're helping all these people to be able to do this, that it's all coming back to you now. So I totally love that.
That is so true. And that's why the thing is like, you are getting all of these amazing things because your intention in the world is to help women. And when you just, it's funny, I think some people are scared that if they help, they'll be without. And it never happens that way. When your intentions are pure, you're going to attract everything that you've ever wanted. It really does work out like that. And I agree. Yeah.
Yes. I love that. I didn't even know this was going to go there, but I'm so happy it did. Okay. So let's talk a little bit. So it sounds like we got some good stuff. Having a really nice professional appearance online on various platforms and just in your processes and systems, that's going to help you bring in referrals. Also having a great portfolio, a great application kit, something you can show people that's showing them, this is what I can do for you. That's really reflecting back to them what they're looking for. And then not having a scarcity mindset and having an abundant mindset, and just being open to like, I can do anything and I can do this, and keeping that kind of perspective. I think those are 3 really great big takeaways everybody can glean from this. And I would just love for you to share, like you were just telling me that you've been doing all this really cool stuff because you've been able to take your laptop life around.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I originally wanted to start working online too because I wanted the freedom to travel. I wanted the freedom to go and visit my husband's hometown in India, and I wanted to be able to do yoga trainings. I wanted to be able to live a life of freedom. So one of the things, a lot of the things that this job has given me the opportunity to experience is I've been able to live in India for the past 6 months. I've been able to work completely remotely. And I've had a community, obviously, from the Facebook group that has been able to help me along the way. I've been able to visit my mom. I've been able to spend time with my family, which is definitely like one of, my number one things in life. I don't want to just be successful financially. I also want to be successful with my relationships.
I love that. Yeah.
And I've been able to, my husband and I right now, we're actually we have the opportunity to hop around to different states in the United States to figure out where we want to buy a house and where we want to settle down. And that is, such a great opportunity. Right now we're in Indiana. We're going to be visiting Austin as soon as the ban is lifted for being able to move around. And yeah, it's been amazing that I've been able to do all these things, and I didn't need a bunch of coding skills, to do it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think it's such a funny concept. So I was reading something about somebody who was like, Oh, I just had to recently move across country for this job, and now they just fired me because of everything going on with COVID right now. And now I'm like here, and I don't know, like, what am I doing with my life, essentially? And I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot that the normal thing is people move where their jobs tell them to go, or they're stuck going where, like, oh, I have this family member that's sick across the country, but I can't go and see them or spend time with them or anything because of work. And I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot that that's normal. Like, you and I are like, we're just traveling around the world, seeing where we want to live.
I know. And I also forget that too. My friend's like, wait, where are you? And I'm like, I'm in Indiana. And she's like, how did you get there? And I was like, well, we were in India. We went to go visit our family in San Francisco. And then we decided we thought we might want to live in Indiana or Austin. So we took a flight there. And she's like, wow.
Yeah, it's a very like different concept to people. But yeah. I hope if you're listening or watching this that you hear like, this is what people are doing. If this is something you've ever thought of, it's not crazy. It's not weird, right? Like, you tell them, Skye, they heard it from me enough.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think every single, man, woman, anybody that's wanting to create a life that comes from their choices, not from what their job is telling them, this program really, really sets you up to succeed and to actually live life on your own terms. And I would say that for anyone that also thinks that, oh, I don't have any skills, I didn't graduate college or whatever, I mean, I had zero skills when I started this, zero. And anybody, no matter what your education level is, this is something that you can do. And this is something that you can actually be successful at. So
and make like good money at.
And great money. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I feel like there was this thing where people had to have a college degree in order to make money. And there's like, I don't know, you could call it a curve or something, but I feel like it's been flattened because now with online courses and online skills and being able to do these kinds of things, like anybody can do this now. People in like Bangladesh are doing it and making $20 an hour,
Absolutely. I think anybody that has the willingness to learn, that's all you need. You don't need to have a college degree. And right now, this is the future. I mean, this course is the future. This is what we're going into. I think that online work is what we're going to all be doing in the future. And it's better to start right now.
Yeah, I love it. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate your wisdom in helping people decide, is what I'm doing online right now the right thing for me, or just giving a different mindset, different perspective, because I think people hear it from me of like, yeah, I just like travel and do whatever. And I think it's great for them to see somebody else who's like, yeah, we just travel and do whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So
I appreciate you joining us so much. And thank you. Where can people find you on Instagram?
You can find me at Skye B Grace. It's SKYE, the letter B as in boy, and then my last name is Grace, GRACE. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out. I'm always available. Thank you so much, Esther. This has been amazing, and it really has changed my life. So I'm really
so happy to hear that. I'm proud of you for all your hard work. Good job.
Thank you so much.